When you said that to Durk, what was his response to you?
He said, you know what? He said, somebody just came in my house. How do they know exactly what the address is? I don't give my address to nobody.
Lil Durk's world has just flipped. The three-headed goat rapper attempted a speedy escape on a private plane to avoid criminal charges, but the authorities foiled his plot, apprehending him just before departure. The strangest thing is that someone in Durk's own OTF group has been snitching, providing information to the cops, and leaving him with nowhere to hide. Durk is in deeper than ever. Now that information about what they discovered on that jet have leaked. This is not just another arrest. This might change everything. Hashan, inside Lil Durk's unsuccessful escape attempt. Lil Durk's lavish lifestyle was severely disrupted when he found himself in federal detention on a murder-for-hire accusation. Federal authorities claimed Durk was part in a scheme to exact revenge on Quando Rondo for the death of his close friend, rapper King Von, in 2020, and that he even set a price on his head. But Durk did not go down gently. Prior to his arrest, he allegedly attempted an elaborate escape plan only to be apprehended by federal agents in Miami, thwarting his final attempt to dodge justice. Court documents show how 5 more guys were tied to Durk's team. Only the family, OTF, was arrested for murder on more serious allegations. According to an affidavit from FBI agent Sarah Corcoran, Durk's gang used credit cards related to OTF to fund the scheme, including flights and other expenses. According to the affidavit, Durk placed a bounty on Rondo's head in retribution for King Von's death. As federal officials closed in, Durk apparently planned an escape out of the country, but the feds were one step ahead, apprehending him just as he was about to flee. According to sources, Durk's flee and evade strategy included arranging numerous flights to confuse investigators, but the plot failed when he was caught at Miami's Opelika Executive Airport. Durk apparently booked 2 separate commercial one-way flights, one to Dubai and the other to Switzerland, in a well-planned action. These weren't ordinary flights either. He most likely chose Dubai and Switzerland because of their convoluted extradition processes, trying to make it difficult for the US to apprehend him if he fled. However, despite reserving the tickets, he did not board each one, as if testing the waters to see whether authorities would notice. Durk made one more effort to flee to Italy by private plane while the feds were still watching. With no commercial flight records, he may have assumed he could get away peacefully. However, barely an hour before the plane was set to depart, federal authorities moved in, capturing Durk on the runway and ultimately destroying his chances of freedom. Durk's plans to exit the nation provoked heated debate among fans and the media, with some doubting if he genuinely planned to go or if it was all a mistake. Bradford Cohen, the attorney for fellow rapper Kodak Black, weighed in on the issue, alleging that Durk was only checking to see whether he had a warrant. Cohen contended that if Durk had intended to flee, he would have chosen a nation with no extradition treaties, such as Vietnam, rather than Italy or Switzerland, where police could readily bring him back to the US. However, hip-hop has a history of high-profile escape attempts. The most well-known example is Tay-K, who fled after taking off his ankle monitor and published the viral hit race, gloating about his attempts to evade capture. Tay-K's avoidance only increased his popularity, but it ultimately caught up with him, resulting in a 55-year sentence. Durk's escape attempt was not as daring, but if it had succeeded, he would have been labeled as another rapper who chose a fugitive lifestyle over facing charges in court. Running from the law carries terrible repercussions. According to US law, avoiding prosecution qualifies a person as a fugitive, which can drastically exacerbate their legal predicament. If Durk had fled to Italy or Switzerland, extradition processes would have certainly resulted in his return within weeks, and the act of fleeing may have encouraged the court to impose a heavier punishment if convicted. Attempting to evade justice also extends the statute of limitations on the offense, ensuring that the charges do not just disappear with time. Durk's circumstance serves as a warning that fleeing simply makes matters worse. If he had successfully fled U.S. land, he may have faced further prison term or sanctions. Some may argue that his escape attempt was desperate or irresponsible, yet it is apparent that he was aware of the risks and attempted to act before being arrested. As Durk's narrative progresses, fans cannot help but draw connections to his 2022 single, Federal Nightmares, with lines like, "Now I'm having federal nightmares, and when the trial comes, it won't be your phone, but your homie." Durk seemed to predict his own encounter with the law. These words have taken on a whole new significance, with admirers analyzing each line for clues that Durk could have predicted this outcome. He also rapped on treachery and loyalty, warning that pals may turn against you, as if he already knew that not everyone in OTF was as loyal as they appeared. In one stanza, Durk states, "Delete my iCloud if I think they're really on me," implying a greater awareness of monitoring and legal dangers. Fans have started posting video excerpts of the song, saying Durk nearly foresaw his own fate. The irony hasn't gone unnoticed on social media, with some pointing out that Durk may have been reflecting on the high stakes he faced even before his arrest. According to the indictment, Durk was not only fleeing for murder in order to face more serious accusations, but he was also accused of threatening prospective witnesses. This action added gasoline to the fire, since the FBI's affidavit describes how witnesses were intimidated, a move that might harm Durk's case. The identity of these witnesses are unknown due to major safety concerns, but the FBI statement emphasizes the dangers of Durk's alleged acts. But this is when things become much more heated. Rumors circulate that someone in Durk's inner circle, maybe a longtime member of OTF, turned informant and gave over evidence to the FBI. Fans speculate that this treachery from within may have prompted the authorities to tighten their surveillance on Durk and eventually apprehend him as he attempted to leave. Durk's cherished loyalty appears to have been the source of his downfall. This isn't the first time allegations of disloyalty have rocked OTF, but the fact that federal charges are involved makes it seem different. If an OTF member truly to flip, Durk's situation would become much more complex. Betrayal in the rap scene is not uncommon, but when it is linked to legal accusations, the repercussions are frequently severe. Lil Durk was betrayed by OTF gang members. Hip-hop fans are abuzz over Lil Durk's latest murder-for-hire indictment, but it's not only the allegations that are getting people talking. Allegations are emerging that someone from Durk's own group, which includes just his family, OTF betrayed him. According to allegations, an OTF member called Jam has been quietly helping with federal agents for years, apparently wearing a wire to gather damning information against Durk and his group. Rap artist 50 Cent warned Durk about his arrest months before it happened. During a recent Breakfast Club interview, 50 pondered on some advice he'd given Durk, telling him to keep an eye on his staff. The two had collaborated on the song Power, Powder, Respect, which serves as the theme for Power Book 4 Force, set in Chicago. 50 Cent felt there was more to Durk's team than meets the eye. I informed him, "Yo, these are them. Simply watch them." His buddy 50 explaining that Durk confided in him about an unexpected guest who showed up at his residence, leaving Durk wondering how they had his address. When you told it to Durk, how did he respond?
When you said that to Durk, what was his response to you?
So you know what? He said somebody just came in my house. How do they know exactly what the address is? I don't give my address to nobody.
This was not Durk's first encounter with dubious conduct. In 2021, attackers stormed into his Braselton, Georgia house, resulting in a firefight that Durk and his girlfriend India Royale just escaped. The alleged informant, named as OTF Jam, is a long-standing member of Durk's team who fans and other musicians are now keenly scrutinizing. According to reports, Jam finished his 12-year term for attempted murder in 2022. After being released into society, Jam allegedly became a snitch, wearing a wire and transmitting information that directly linked Durk to a vengeance plan against Quando Rondo. Durk's bond with Jam was more than simply commercial, it was personal. Durk was known for watching out for people close to him, particularly those in his OTF circle. In a rediscovered 2023 interview, Jam discussed the assistance he had from Durk while serving a 12-year sentence for attempted murder. Durk's music kept Jam going, and his success served as both incentive and a reminder that there is life outside of prison. Durk did not abandon Jam once he was released in 2022. He reportedly assisted Jam with money, automobiles, and even gave him $50,000. As Jam said, "It was dude. Before the fame and money, he made it possible for me to be straight."
You know what I'm saying? He said, Jam, get out that jam, I'll give him 50, he ain't gotta ask again, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't gotta ask, bro. He said he gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm saying?